What is your strangest wrong number story? An old friend of mine got a wrong number text from a mother responding to an ad about a used electric wheelchair for her child. For some reason, he got a lot of wrong number texts. He would usually have a little fun with the sender before telling they had the wrong number and share it on social media. But this time, he didn't mess with her obviously. He posted it on social media and asked around if anyone knew where to find a used electric wheelchair. The mother couldn't afford a new one. It got a lot of attention, but nobody could find one for sale. After a couple days of no luck, anonymous donors bought and donated to them a brand new electric wheelchair. More heartwarming than strange, but a good story either way. Guy, is Steve there? Me, you have the wrong number. Guy, nice try. Numbnuts. Put Steve on the phone now. Me, you really do have the wrong number. Guy, is this my phone number? Me, yeah. Guy, then it's the right ducking number, isn't it? Put Steve on the phone. I hung up, and then he continued to call and leave threatening voicemails for a few hours, until he either got bored, realized he had the wrong number, or perhaps died of hypertension from being so angry all the time. I was home from college for Christmas break around 2014 and ended up chilling downtown with a few buddies from high school who were also in town for the holidays. While hanging out, I received a group text with a bunch of numbers I didn't recognize. The message was a group picture with people who were obviously at a Christmas party. I made the only logical choice and immediately sent a selfie back with the message wrong number. The rest of the people in this text absolutely loved this and responded with ahas and you're kinda cute texts, until one person said you should come to our Christmas party. The party was only a few blocks away from where I was hanging out, so I left my friends and went to the party. I find the apartment, walk in, and it had a record scratch moment like from a cheesy 90s movie. Everyone goes silent, stares at me. I'm the only white person there. After a few seconds the host shatters the silence with the shout, "It's wrong number, guy." We end up doing shots and partying for the next few hours. By far the best wrong number experience ever. I got a call at like 6 AM and I was still sleeping, so I kind of didn't understand what was happening, but this person was so excited to tell me that they got the new job and they recognized I was still half asleep, so they said they'd call me back later and said, "I love you." I just said, "I love you too. I'm glad you got the job." I absolutely did not know that person and they never called back, but I think of that call all the time. Back in my community college days I had a pretty tight clique, but we lost touch when I transferred to university. After that I did an MA, so I was gone quite a while. The rest of them stayed tight. Well, when I moved back to town, after finishing my MA, I was invited to a New Year's Eve party by one of my old friends. At this party was Jenna, a girl I had a crush on, but never got anywhere with. A few years later we had a pretty good time at the party and ended up in the same car home. So we were in the back seat and started fooling around. She got out at her stop and I went home. Next day I wake up with a massive headache and a text message from someone I didn't know saying things like, "If you ducking touch my girl again I will break your arms." I texted back, "I'm not so sure she's your girl." The response, "Wait. 206 area code. Where is that?" "Seattle." "Sorry dude. Wrong number." "Okay." I never saw Jenna again though. I called the wrong number when I was in high school. I'm a male and 43 now, and a teen girl answered. We quickly realized it was a wrong number, but started having a little fun banter. She seemed really cool and funny, and so we kept talking. I asked her what she was doing, and she said she was watching O.J. Simpson and a police car chase on TV. I turned it on too and together we talked for an hour and watched the slow speed chase of O.J. in the back of the white Bronco. At the end, we laughed that we had shared that together and then said goodbye. I don't remember her name or anything, but it was a really memorable night. Back in the day, when you moved house, British Telecom would leave you with the same number as the previous owner. As a result, when we bought a house we had a lot of calls meant for the previous owner, Susan. After about a year later, the calls had petered out, until one Sunday morning I answered a call from a cheery sounding old dear who asked if Susan was there. Oh, I'm sorry. Susan doesn't live here anymore. She sounded confused. How long had she been gone? Well, we've lived here a year. And I think the house had been vacant for a couple of months before that. The old duck had shifted from confused to panicked now, but I only spoke to her last week. It reminded me of those old ghost tales that end with an old farmer saying something like there's been no one living there these past 50 years. It took a little while to calm her down sufficiently to find out she had dialed the wrong number and was after an entirely different Susan. Bought a cell phone you pay by the month. Basically a burner phone, but I only had that one. Bought it at a Best Buy when I was out of town. 3 hours away from home. Same state. 2 days later I get a random text from a friend on the new number. I didn't give anyone my new number yet. Turns out the number one had was a recently old number from a mutual friend. So all my friends had my number already. Just had to update the name. Weird shit. When I was 10ish before caller ID was common, I got a call from some drunk guy, probably college age or a bit older, begging me to take him back. He must have been trying to call his ex-girlfriend and dialed my number by mistake, and was already pretty hysterical by the time I answered the phone. He barely let me get a word in, and I was pretty frozen with shock. So the call went on for at least a couple minutes. My mom finally asked me who was on the phone. I just shrugged. So she took the phone out of my hands right as he was accusing me of banging his friends. We still laugh about that story now. Got a call from a government agency, FDA maybe. Anyway, the first thing the lady says to me is, "We got a call that you have a problem with goats." I'm like, "No. Sorry, wrong number. Are you sure you don't have a goat problem?" "Nope." "Okay, thanks. Sorry about the confusion." We, as teenagers, used to use a copper wire touching off the microphone within the handset and touch it repeatedly in the pattern of the number you wished to dial off the body of public phones Cohen-Barks phone to get past the payment system. We once decided to go full Monty and dial a number in the USA. We live in Dublin, Ireland. We got the international code, the country code, the area code New York, and made up a number. We tapped out the number with the wire, waited a moment, and heard the magic ringing tone in the handset. We had done it. Then the phone was answered. "Hello, McDonald's." The only problem was the girl who answered had the strongest Dublin accent we ever heard. Okay, we failed then. We were quite disappointed until she repeated "Hello, McDonald's, White Plains" or something similar. Turns out she was the sister of a guy in my class in school and had only been in New York for a week and had only started her job there that day. I was able to go into school next day and tell the guy I was talking to his sister in New York and about her new job. It was a fun little misadventure. Got a call from an older dude. Told him wrong number and the exchange went as follows. "Me sorry, wrong number." "Him oh alright. Sorry to bother you." "Me okay B." "Him how are you?" "Me UMM. Good you." "Him hey I'm alright." "Me alright. Well I gotta go. Bye." He sounded lonely, so I felt bad. But I was just so thrown off and had no idea what to say. My grandmother, RIP, got a call like that when I was a kid 35 plus years ago. My grandmother was somewhat disabled due to a stroke, so she spent a lot of time in a chair and watched TV. She got a call one night from another elderly lady asking to speak to Vera. Well, just so happens that was my grandmother's name. Well, the lady started going on and on about her son and his family and how they don't call until my grandmother realized she had the wrong number. Anyway, my grandmother and this lady talked for nearly an hour that night. Couple days later the lady called again and said it was so nice talking to my grandmother she decided to call again. Again they had an hour or so conversation. The lady called my grandmother at least 2-3 times a week for about 3 years until the lady passed. A random call cheered up 2 people. So I got this group text about a break room installation. It showed snacks, coffee, etc. It looked beautiful. I responded with a text of my office break room. It was sad sight. No coffee or snacks. I got a response about how it was a company who does that service. We scheduled a visit to my office to sample the snacks and coffee. The branch manager loved the coffee. He ordered a completed redo of our break room snacks, coffee, etc. I don't work there anymore but. Landline in the 90s. Someone must have wrongly given their new number. So for a few weeks we got calls from their family and friends. I was asked, how's your dad's new truck? And is your dad there? I always suspected the wrong number right away once I heard their unfamiliar voices. But I wouldn't tell them it was a wrong number unless they asked for a wrong name or some other question that would make the misnumbered call indisputably evident. I had a couple of short back and forth conversations with some of them. One stood out. By the voice I could tell it was an elderly woman trying to contact her kids' grandkids. We briefly talked about the weather and how my parents were doing. And I can still hear her. After I said I think this might be a wrong number, she replied with a smile in her voice, oh, okay, well, thanks for talking nice to me. Have a good day. Nothing special. But I remember leaving that call thinking both our days were brightened by our nice chat. A small connection by people who will never know each other or speak again. Over the years, that moment has arisen in my mind whenever I think of how strangers interact. Are you picking the boys up Friday? Me. Yes. Why wouldn't I be? You said you weren't sure. Me. No, I didn't. Wait. Who is this? Ashley. Me. Yeah, you have the wrong number. Me and my kids are on the same schedule as you and your ex though. This is weird. It went in a little longer I think, but that was a summary of it. We were both argumentative when we thought we were talking to our exes, then we had a laugh about it. I was playing poker with my boys a few years back. We finished up around 1 AM on a Sat night sun morn technically. My phone rings. Woman, your son has been sending nude pictures to my daughter and this needs to stop right now. Me, madam. My son is 8 years old. If he's sending naked pictures to your daughter, we both have a big problem on our hands. Woman, realizing it's not the right number, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I got the wrong number. Me, yeah, I figured as much. Good luck with getting that all sorted out. I laughed so hard after I hung up. This is why I answer any call that comes to my phone. I cold missed out on this gem. I learned my lesson about going along with a stranger who's texting my phone thinking I'm someone else. It's all fun and games until they send you an unsolicited close-up of their butthole and you damn near spit your dinner out all over the table. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.